And social media starts like picking up a lot. Turn them and transform them into a really beautiful superpower that you can use that is very unique to you. NAD+ is a coenzyme. It's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's in every cell of your body, but your body doesn't make any more of it. You're born with a finite amount.
Okay.
So it keeps your cells young.
I'm gonna need you to send me like a whole year's worth of products.
No, just kidding. Girl, I got you.
No, but
I am the
seriously,
powder supply.
You're so successful. You do so well, and you're intelligent, and you're so hardworking and smart and kind.
It's taking these little steps day by day.
Amen again.
Take all the things that you've been through, your traumas, your hardships, your loss, and to not let them define you as a person and use what you've learned to grow as an individual.
We got another mic drop right there. That's so true. Welcome back to Pain to Power. I am your host, Kayla Cardona. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you to hit that follow button and subscribe. Your likes, shares, comments, and 5-star reviews are crucial. They help the show reach more people and make a bigger impact. I'm dedicated to bringing value and helping as many people as possible, and your support makes that happen. Additionally, I am currently seeking sponsors for the show. So if you or someone that you know is interested in partnering with Pain to Power, let's connect. You can send me a message on Instagram at paintopowerpod or email me at paintopowerpod@gmail.com. Now, without further ado, let's introduce our new guest. She is a fashion model and social media sensation with over 2 million followers who has claimed global popularity after appearing on the cover of several top worldwide magazines. But beyond the glamour, the beauty, and the brains, her passion lies in wellness, and she's using her degree in biochemistry to revolutionize health with her groundbreaking product, Hydra Powders, the first ever drinkable NAD+ supplement. Her journey from pre-med student to global entrepreneur is nothing short of inspiring, proving that with vision and determination, anything is possible. Please welcome Lauren Blake to the show.
Thank you for having me and making me blush.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I wasn't sure. Is it NAD+? Like
Yes.
what is that? Break that down for me, because I did not understand what that meant.
NAD+ is a coenzyme. It's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's in every cell of your body, and essentially you need it to live.
Okay.
So it keeps your cells young, right? But your body doesn't make any more of it. You're born with a finite amount and you use it through your life. You're actually half of your levels are depleted by the time you're around 35. And this triggers a lot of the aging process. So by supplementing your body with the NAD+, you can prolong your cell's youth and kind of slow down your biological clock.
What?
It's a miracle. It's literally called the miracle molecule. And it's taken by a ton of like Hollywood celebrities. It was like Hollywood's best kept secret for a really long time.
Whoa.
It's super expensive and it was hard to get. So that's why I created Hydra, because I wanted to make it accessible and affordable for everyone, because everyone can benefit from this.
Yeah. Okay. This might be a dumb question, but you're obviously, the scientist here, not me. How do you compare that to like collagen, right? Is what keeps you young?
Collagen is a great peptide for like skin health. So like, helping with like fine lines and wrinkles and things. This is more of a coenzyme. And so NAD helps the cellular pathways and the production of ATP, which is your cellular energy. So essentially prolonging your cell's youth. They're both great hand in hand, but they're a little different.
Got it. Okay. So it's like kind of anti-aging, but from the inside out.
100%. You nailed it. It's super powerful for anti-aging. It's a molecule that's like the anti-aging miracle molecule, truly. But with collagen, that's a lot for skin health and hair and nails and that, versus NAD+, which is good for fertility, bone density, muscle strength and endurance, as well as the cognitive side, which is your mental focus, like your brain fog, your memory, things like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna need you to send me like a whole like year's worth of products. No, I'm just kidding.
Girl, I got you.
No, but
I am the
seriously,
powder supplier, you know.
I love it. No, I love it. Well, I just need a moment really quick. Your eyeshadow is stunning. Can you close your eyes
Thank
really
you.
quick? Okay, so it's like very neutral, but then sparkles. I love that
Thank
look.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Coming from you, that's a great compliment. Your glam is always on point.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So that has been the secret in Hollywood that you say. How long has your product been around?
We launched in October of last year.
So it's newer.
Yeah, it's new, but I worked on the formulation for a year.
Wow.
It's very hard. It's the first ever the first ever drinkable NAD+.
Okay.
Usually you can take it in like a nasal spray or drops or through an IV, but I wanted to make it in a drinkable form. So I got into the lab and I actually hired the flavor scientist that did Gatorade's Cool Blue, that flavor, to help me mask the NAD because it has a very bitter taste.
Okay.
So after working on it for a year and a million different flavor testings, we came up with a product that we have currently on the market that is delicious, effective. You can't taste the NAD at all. And it has all the benefits.
Amazing.
Yeah. It actually gained popularity because Justin Bieber posted a video about him taking NAD+ through the IV. And then on the Kardashians, they aired an episode where Kendall Jenner and Hailey Bieber were on the couch getting the NAD. And Hailey Bieber says, I love NAD. I'm going to take it for the rest of my life and live until 120 years old. And I'm never going to age. And so everyone saw this and they're like, what are they taking? What's in those? And then that's when it started to explode that all these people were taking NAD to look and feel young.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on all of that.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
it's been a fun
amazing.
journey.
Yeah.
New into the world of entrepreneurship. It's so different,
New.
challenging,
Yeah.
but always good.
Yeah. And I would love to dig deep into that. So let's start with, when your childhood, when you were born. I mean, you've been through some stuff. I mean, even being born with a rare disease to, experiencing tons of loss. So right now it's great, but as you know, this show is all about digging deep into what people have gone through, because beautiful, successful people like you, it's like they see only the highlights and all the great and beautiful glamorous things, but they don't see everything that you had to go through to get to where you're at today. So I would love to start off with where you're from, rare disease you were born with, all of that, kind of where you grew up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. People see the glitz and glamour of life, and everyone has a story. I know you have a story too.
Yeah.
And so it's important to recognize those parts of ourselves as we carry them, like they, define our character a lot of times. So I was born and raised in San Francisco Bay Area. And when I was born with a very, very rare disease called mastocytosis, which is an overproduction of white blood cells and inflammation of the autoimmune system. So it's essentially the average lifespan for someone that's diagnosed with this disease is up to 12 years old. Wow. So it also has a visible presence. You have, it comes in different forms. You can have like red rashes. Mine in particular was like a tan, large accumulation of pigment all over my skin, like polka dots. It looks kind of like you have the chicken pox, but it's a little light, it's transparent, but visible to anyone that can see your skin. So up until the age of about, I'd say 7, I had visible dots all over my body. And it's funny because I remember being teased in school, like, LB the Dalmatian, Lauren's like a polka dotted Dalmatian and all this because I looked different. Yeah. And, when you're young, sometimes you don't realize the severity of what's happening. But so they don't have a cure for it, but it's possible that you can beat it. And it's funny, actually, they say that one of the good things that you could take the supplements for is onions. So I do remember when I was a child, my dad hiding onions in literally all my food, like just stuffing my food with onions, like even my sweets, like with hidden onions everywhere. But by the grace of God and miraculously, I beat the condition. Wow. And by the time I was 11-ish, they had all kind of disappeared, all the dots, all the pigment. And I had, my clear skin, and I now have like a very sensitive internal immune system to certain things, like to allergies and stuff, but I'm still alive and I'm grateful. And I'm really in hindsight, I'm like, wow, like I really feel like I was meant to be here. Like I have a bigger purpose, that I was meant for something, you know, 100%. Because I was able to beat that when a lot of people aren't.
Wow. Do you know the percentage of how many people survive that?
It depends on which classification you are diagnosed with.
Yeah.
For mine, it was kind of like a 50-50.
Wow.
But for people with a more severe one, it's a lot less, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is crazy. So you grew up with that, and then you kind of went through, you were raised by your dad.
Right.
Your mom was an alcoholic. So kind of, can you break that down a little bit about what that was like?
Of course. My parents were together until I was about 7, then they split. And my mother fell into alcoholism, and my dad took full custody of me. And so I was raised by my father primarily. He was my best friend, absolutely an incredible father, like truly the epitome of what a fantastic dad looks like. And when I was, my life was, you know, comfortable. We were in like a middle class family. I had good friends. I had a good school. And my dad was extremely involved in my life, captain my soccer team, in all my school classes, like, you know, just a part of everything. And when I turned 17, he suddenly fell ill, and I took him to the hospital, and he fell ill with a very rare liver condition. He didn't drink or anything, but it was like my whole world flipped upside down in like an instant. Like my perfect little bubble, happy life all of a sudden was just like totally spun out. And simultaneously, so my dad was in the hospital for about 3 months, and simultaneously when my father was in the hospital, my mother went into a different hospital with a different condition. So she fell really ill, and this was before her and I kind of had our relationship. So I would wake up, go to school, go to my dad's hospital, visit with him, drive to my mom's hospital, visit with her, and then go work a night shift, try to make some money for myself. And that was just a lot to deal with at such a young age, and having both parents kind of like in this questionable circumstance. And so my mother recovered after about 2 months, and my father didn't. He ended up dying about a month later, and losing him was the hardest thing that I had ever dealt with at the time, like still to this day.
How old were you?
I was 17. And it was like my world just completely crumbled around me. Like it was like my life was ripped out from underneath me, because when you're young and you're dealing with this loss, and I had never dealt with loss before really. But after that, it's really interesting because it triggered this really heavy or very consistent, like dealing with loss. I had a lot of people die right after that. So it was like this tsunami of just death and loss in my family and close friends, which was like really challenging to deal with. But it was, so after he passed, I was alone, and I lived by myself for a really long time. I was working a job. I was going to school. I was on the EBT program for food stamps, so I could buy groceries. And then my uncle and aunt realized that I was living by myself, and so they stepped in to come and take care of me.
Was this still in the Bay Area?
This was all in the Bay Area.
So it's probably was really expensive, right?
Yes.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. I had actually worked out a deal with the people that we rented the house from. They were going to let me stay for a little bit longer, just to, I mean, they're really close with my dad, so they understood and they saw my position.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting when you're put in that circumstance. It was like I had to grow up virtually overnight. I'm all alone. I don't have anyone taking care of me. I had to become an adult then and there. I had to learn how to cook and clean and take care of myself and balance work and school and all this, and all while dealing with grief, which was very hard. But then it instilled the sense of, you know, independence. You know, that's the silver lining. Being able to take care of yourself and, you know, make sure that you're always going to have the capabilities to do so with whatever life throws at you. But then, so my aunt and uncle stepped in, they took good care of me. And then I just poured myself into my studies. And that's when I got my academic scholarship to Arizona. And I went off to college to make sure that I would never struggle again.
Yeah.
And make sure that I would always be able to put myself in a position where, you know, I wouldn't have to be, you know, scraping pennies and really just struggling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. How were you able to get through that big loss and grief? And then go to school, and I mean, I can only imagine how bad you spiraled. How were you able to get through that?
You know, you never really get over grief. You just do your best to get through it.
Yeah.
But I had an amazing friend group that was super supportive that I really leaned into. I don't have any siblings. I'm not close to any of my other family members. So I really had to lean into friends that were like sisters. But also just getting close with God, knowing that I'm truly not alone in all of this, that there was, you know, someone that's looking out for me. I know that I beat my mastocytosis. I'm meant to be here.
Yep.
He took my father from me for a reason. And now he's with God. And, you know, now I'm here and I have to figure out what this path is going to lead me to because it's the one that I'm meant to be on.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you were able to figure that out.
Yes.
And just know that God has his hand on you.
Always.
And that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it teaches you a lot of things, right? Like when you experience loss, or if you haven't experienced loss yet, I think the major takeaway that I got from this was to appreciate people while they're here, to tell someone, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell them that you love them, tell them how much they mean to you, tell them that you appreciate them and how you see them in your eyes, and to really vocalize the relationship. Like, I feel like a lot of people regrets, like when they lose someone, their regrets like, oh, you know, I should have told them how I really felt. I should have made the time to call them. I should have, you know, said that thing. I should have went there and given them that hug. And so I think it's extremely important as an individual to show love and show appreciation to the people around you while they're here on this earth. So I personally make it a point to always tell my friends, tell my family, even tell like people that I just meet what I think of them in a positive way. If they like had this beautiful light within them, I'll tell them how much I love them, how much I appreciate them, and what they mean to me, because you never know, you know, tomorrow's never promised.
Wow. That's a great reminder for everyone listening and watching, but also for me. Knock on wood, but I haven't yet experienced any sort of loss like that to anyone super close to me. So I don't want to think about when that day will come, because it is going to come, because that's life. But that's a really great reminder for me as well. So thank you. That is really incredibly important. And I'm really glad that you shared that. So, oh my gosh. And then your mom, she got ill.
Right.
And then.
So she recovered and she became sober, actually. So she turned her whole life around. She went to rehab a couple times and finally got sober. And, you know, it's funny, to this day, we are best friends. Like, she is my rock,
Praise
my
God.
ride or die. That is my girl. Like, she's my best friend. We talk almost every day.
Wow.
And it's incredible that I have this relationship with her. And so weirdly, losing my father, I got my mother afterwards, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But I am so thankful that, you know, she changed her life, because now she's my everything. And I have an amazing relationship with my last parent, which is great.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you break down what that process looked like? Because obviously you had to forget the past, forgive her, see that she made the changes. But like, what did that process look and feel like?
It's a great question. Difficult, but also knowing that you have to forgive.
Yeah.
Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and thinking the other person's gonna die, right?
Oof.
Like, you need to be able to find it in your heart to have forgiveness. We're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I really realized that this is her first time doing life too. I know what she went through when she went through the divorce, and I understand now in hindsight why she did what she did.
Yeah.
And I just chose to forgive. Just like God forgives all of us, we have to be able to forgive each other because we all make mistakes.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. That is so true because God forgave us. We have to forgive each other.
Right.
And we didn't even deserve to be forgiven.
No.
But he still did.
Exactly.
Wow. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so good. Ah, that was really good. Okay. So you're close with your mom. Praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet she's so proud of you now.
She is. She's my biggest
always
fan.
was. Yeah, I'm sure she always was proud of you, but she was going through her own stuff.
Right.
But I'm sure she's so incredibly proud. So let's talk a little bit about, so you went to school and then, so where's the gap of like you coming to LA, becoming a model, traveling all over the world? I mean, girl, your life, I'm like watching you like, I'm like, okay, this girl, yes. But I know obviously you worked to get there and, it wasn't always like that. But how did that process, like what happened next, I guess, after that to get to the modeling and the glitz and the glamour and all that stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
So what a funny sequence of events. So I went to college to study science and, get this pre-med degree so that I can go off and become a doctor. I really wanted to become a doctor. My dad was a doctor. And also I had this internal feeling that if I could work in the medical field, that I could save somebody else from feeling how I felt or what I went through by essentially maybe saving someone else's life.
Wow.
And letting their daughter have a few more years with them or decades or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was my path. I'd worked so hard my whole life to get there since I was 15, actually. I was working in the medical field in ER, trauma, allergy, health ed, dermatology. Go to college with a scholarship. And I start doing a little bit of social media, but I'm really consumed with school at this point. And you need a certain amount of hours to get into medical school. So I thought, okay, once I graduated, I will go to LA and I will take my gap year to get hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll move there, work in a hospital or a medical office, and then apply the following year. So funny, I come to LA. I'd never been here actually. And I just found an apartment online and I sent it. And I'm like, okay, so I lived in Hollywood in a shoebox, like the dumpy little apartment. The starter apartment is what I like to call it.
Did you have the typical like stereotype thought of what Hollywood looked like? Like, oh, and then you get there, you're like,
oh yeah,
what is this?
Yeah, I was like, well, this doesn't look like the pictures of the movies. It's a little nasty. So it was definitely a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
But I was just really excited to be there. I was excited to experience a new place. I had a ton of friends in Arizona, but I had felt like my purpose was served there. I had done all that I could. Like now it's time for a new place, new opportunity.
Okay.
So I come to LA and, try to make friends. And I'm like working a bunch in a dermatology office. And social media starts like picking up a lot.
Okay, what year? We need timelines.
This is 2017.
Okay. Oh, so this is during the time when influencers kind of started becoming more of a thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is like the beginning of the influencer kind of world. Like I remember being a junior in college and there was like only a few influencers around, and if they had 1 million followers, it was like, whoa, they are super famous. Like it was like unheard of, right?
Yeah.
And so it was this new wave of social media and like the popularity there.
Yeah.
So I actually had a company reach out to me and it was Fit Tea. Are you familiar with Fit Tea?
That sounds familiar.
So it was like one of the first very big social media marketing campaigns.
Okay.
They did a ton of influencer posts with like the Kardashians, all these athletes. Anyways, they did hundreds of millions in sales just from sponsored posts. But
wow.
They hit me up and they're like, hey, I'll pay you to post this product. And I was like, what? Like it was, I've never heard of such a thing. I get money and I get free stuff and I just have to take a picture. This is awesome, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's funny, I'll full circle that instance in just a moment. But so I saw the opportunity for monetization. Like, okay, this is something I can make a little bit of money off of, right? And I love making money. So let's try a little harder, dig in, divert more energy into this. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you. At this point, you're not modeling. Okay, so you just came to LA, you're like thinking doctor, and then this opportunity comes. Okay, go on.
Correct.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, they start flowing in, the brand deals. Once I start posting more and putting more energy and effort into my social media, and it just accumulates rapidly. And then it was back when you would get reposted on a page and you could gain like 20,000 followers overnight. Like that was the algorithm was a lot different then, we'll say that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that first wave. But as the social media started to grow, the finances grew. And then I started seeing like, okay, this is seriously like a massive opportunity here. And I was faced with this decision of, am I going to continue down this path that I've spent my entire life focusing on? Everything is worked to be on this. Or do I take a leap of faith and follow my gut into something that's new and exciting that I don't know the outcome, but has extremely high potential?
Wow.
So I took the leap of faith and I decided to not apply to medical school and to pour myself fully into social media. And I actually quit my medical job so that I could divert all my time into doing brand reach outs, shooting content, trying to really grow my page and make a decent living off of it. And it was the best decision I ever made. And it's funny now in Hydra, my company, the man who owned the Fit Tea, Michael Gonzalez, that offered me that first brand deal is now my closest advisor in Hydra, which is the crazy full circle. Like from where I started
meant to happen.
It was exactly meant to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
What brought you to LA if you weren't modeling?
That's a good question. It was more so my friend's decision. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I thought maybe Miami or New York or somewhere. I know I wanted to go to a big city with a lot of opportunity. And I didn't want to go back to San Francisco because I didn't want to backtrack there. And my best friend at the time in college, she was like, we should just go to LA. And I'm like, okay, let's just do it.
Yeah, but
I was like, it's only going to be a year anyways. Little do I know, 7 years later.
Yeah, you're still here.
Still here. Thriving though, so I'm not complaining.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so obviously God's hand was on you the entire time because random thought, random just being like saying yes and just doing it. That leap of faith is so important to talk about because so I hear a lot of these stories where it's like the best things come from taking that risk.
Right.
And that's exactly what you did. And did you get a lot of maybe judgment from people knowing that you're going to get into the doctor world and then you decided to be like a social media influencer, which a lot of traditional people would look at that like, why would you throw away this talent? Because you're obviously very intelligent. So, why would you throw away everything that you know, school, being a doctor? Why'd you throw it away for this? Like, did you get judgment from that?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And the thing is, when you take the risks, you will always receive judgment.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
And people will, be on the other side of the what if.
Yeah.
It could go this way. And even though you think, it could go this way, there is a possibility that it could not go the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Or that you could fail. But if you have that gut instinct, if you have that calling, if you yearn for that next step, that next adventure, it's important to do that, especially when you're young. Especially when you're young, when you can't take more risks.
Okay.
But I do think that it's crucial that you listen to your instincts, and my instincts pulled me that way. And if you're feeling like you're in a crossroad where you are faced with these kind of decisions, or you are, a little bit like, I don't know if I should take that risk or do that thing, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
I
but
really
it doesn't
think
matter what age you are, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's in all ages.
Yeah. Okay. Because that could be a lot of I think a lot of people will struggle with taking that risk because they don't have confidence in themselves enough. Like people they struggle too much in fear.
Oh my gosh. It's so true. I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Confidence is such a delicate thing, but such a necessity.
Yeah.
And we could go into that for a long time, but I really feel like confidence is bred from authenticity.
Okay.
Right?
Let's go there. I would love to go there.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I think confidence is bred from authenticity. So they actually did a study where they measured characteristics and the likeness of them. And the number one thing that people found attractive was the quality of authenticity. And more than, being complimentary, more than beauty, more than energy, anything. It was authenticity. And this means, being truly who you are, authentic to yourself, to all parts of you, to your personality, your weird little quirks, how you look, how you feel, staying true to your morals, staying true to your values, it all is combined to who you are. And once you align with yourself and you accept and love your authentic self, it breeds confidence.
Yeah.
And so once you shine that outwards, you move a little bit different in the world. Yeah. And I feel like confidence then is built. That's why they say, you build confidence.
Yeah.
It's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, whoa, I got it. I'm confident. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's taking these little steps day by day. It's talking to that person that you're shy towards. It's doing that thing that scares you.
Yeah.
It's taking that little leap of faith. Yeah. And you slowly build your confidence. And once you have that confidence built, you're unstoppable, really. But it's a consistent thing that you need to work on.
100%.
Right? Just like yourself.
Yeah.
You're always working on yourself.
Yeah.
You are your greatest investment, your greatest project.
Yep.
Reinvent, reset, do whatever you need to do, but you're always working on you. You just like you need to always work on building that confidence, because even people that are the most confidently seeming people in the world have off days, have bad days.
Yep.
Like everyone has the ups and downs. It's just knowing that, ride those up days. And then when you have those low days, you accept them, you take them as they are, and then know that you have the inner strength and, the power of God behind you to get back up and get back to that confident self that you love to be.
Amen again. We got another mic drop right there. That's
it's
so true.
Like you are extraordinary.
Yeah.
And you just have to remember that you are extraordinary.
Yeah.
You have a gift. You have to take time and do the inner work to find it. Yep. But once you find it, use it, apply it, monetize it, share it.
Yep.
That's its purpose. And it will then reinstill that confidence.
Beautiful. I love that. And like you said, it's an ongoing, consistent learning, growing opportunity. Like you're not, like I'm still working on my confidence. You know what I mean? Like
we all
there's
are.
different, there's different levels. There's different, just like anything really in life, right? There's different levels to everything. And you just keep going. And now my model is, well, one of my many models, but when in doubt, confidence. Act like you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Fake it till you make it.
That's really good. So let's reel back just a little bit. So you mentioned that you had this something inside of you was like, I am never gonna feel or be broke again. And so that is really what fed into what motivates you. Now, we all know that if you watch something like this episode, or you listen to a motivational like song or whatever, motivation is there, yay, but then it could fade, or sometimes it doesn't work. So, but you got to keep going regardless if you have the motivation or not, right?
Right.
So what keeps you going?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Confidence and motivation, they come in waves, at least for me.
Yeah.
I would think for a lot of people, motivation comes in waves.
Yeah.
You're not always going to wake up ready to just seize the day and go get our attitude. Some days you're going to be a little off. Some days you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just perseverance. You don't have to really want to do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's something that if you make a promise to yourself, you have to do your best to keep it. If you promise that you're going to go on that diet, or you're going to achieve this, or you're going to do that thing with that person, then you're only letting yourself down by not following through. And then it will hurt your confidence because you broke your promise to yourself.
Yep. There it is. That's one of the biggest things in my personal experience. When you need that boost of confidence, do something that you know you're meant to do, or do something that's hard, right? Like just what you were saying. That is so, so true. So good. And keeping those promises to yourself. That's such a big one for me personally, but that's a huge, huge one. Oh my gosh. This is another reminder. Man, I fell off the gym.
And we all do. That happens. I fall off the gym too.
Yeah.
All that matters is that you eventually get back in it.
Yes.
Right?
Well, not eventually. I'm starting tonight.
But that's the thing, is okay too. And especially usually it's given your circumstances.
Yeah.
do you want to be like the 4 a.m. club and go on your 4 a.m. like burpee thing? No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if your circumstances don't allow it, it doesn't matter. Like you can accept we're all human. We're flexible, right?
Yeah.
As long as, you know, we get back on track when at all possible.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's okay to deter and it's okay to take breaks.
I know.
Especially when you're doing what you're doing. That's admirable in itself.
Oh, thank you. No, I had that momentum and I lost it. I'm like, dang, but I'm going to get back into it.
You got it. You're going to find it back. And see, that's the thing. The momentum might come in the wave, but once you get back on that wave and you get remotivated, boom, girl, you're back and better than ever.
That's right. Amen. And muscle memory. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. Can we talk about your love life?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I should have asked you off camera, but I was like, let me just throw her a curveball. So obviously you're this stunningly gorgeous. Like I don't even have to say anything. Look at her.
Girl, look at you. Coming from you.
Okay. And you know, you're so successful. You do so well. And you're intelligent and you're so hardworking and smart and kind. And so, you know, like ever since I met you, like you've always been so sweet. And I really appreciate, I'm just going to say this. I don't know how to sugarcoat this, so no one get offended, okay? But I really appreciate beautiful women that is so sweet and kind. Like that's beautiful on the outside, but also on the inside. Because it's not, I hate to say this, but it's common. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
Especially in LA.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm keeping it real. You guys know what I'm talking about, okay?
You definitely keeping it real. You're absolutely right.
So, anyways, man, I just had some flashbacks from Dan's birthday. Like I met some beautiful girls that I thought would be, you know, because I immediately think the best in people.
Yeah.
I think, oh, you're nice. I mean, you're beautiful. You must be nice, right? Because that's just how I think. They were not nice. And I was just like, I'm going to just make my way over here.
You're like, nice to meet you. Bye.
You're so gorgeous. There's no reason for you to be this way. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Come on.
So
Do
funny.
I have a point?
I love that. That's
okay.
So funny.
It's like, come on. Like,
yeah, it's
like,
true.
It's just, oh my gosh.
I mean, it's not hard to be nice.
No.
I feel like it's harder to be mean.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, you got to be miserable.
Yeah.
To be that
or just have
mean.
crazy ego or something.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm not even going to say anything. Well, you know what? I'm going to say it. Okay. So I was introducing myself to this beautiful, I'm not going to say the names, but she's a woman. She's going to be on my show soon. I'm so excited. She was sweet, but I was like carrying all this stuff and I accidentally spilled my drink on her shoe. And her friends, stunning, looked at me and they're just like, rolled their eyes, like looking at me like I was some sort of peasant. Started passing her like napkins. I'm like, I didn't do this on purpose. Like, you don't have to
Kayla,
treat me like that.
You know, I was standing right there. I saw the whole thing.
You know who I'm talking to about?
I watched this happen and I remember thinking to myself, that was rude.
I'm like, dang.
That is so funny. Yeah, I watched that entire thing go down.
Yeah,
I was standing right behind you.
Oh my gosh. She was so sweet about it. And I'm just like, I like you.
Right. It's just like, what's that energy for?
Yeah.
Like, it's an accident. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just so glad she took it like okay, because I'm like, she's about to be on my show. So
well, that would be weird if she didn't.
Right,
even then,
I know.
like why? Like it's an accident. It's fine.
I
and
know.
it wasn't even. It was literally like 2 drops of water.
I know. Gosh. Anyways, so yeah, so I experienced that. I'm like, dang, you girls are so stunning, and that's how you treat me. Like I was saying, so your love life, or maybe lack thereof, I don't know. But are you single?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
I am.
Can you explain that?
Being single?
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Well, I asked that in a way. Well, no, everyone has a different experience, but I've been having a lot of conversations lately because people always ask me, why are you single? Because you're beautiful and successful and and nice and humble and smart and right. I mean, I can go on.
Yeah.
But no, but seriously. But it's like, you know, I have my own experiences, but I'm just curious, how does that look like for you? You live in LA. I feel like it's maybe more difficult. I don't know.
Are you single?
I am single.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then maybe it goes for both of us.
Okay.
But this is so funny because I was actually just talking to my girlfriends about this. This is a very prominent conversation in all of our lives. Is like I look around and I see beautiful, successful, intelligent, well-rounded, well-grounded, spiritual women who are fantastic, like like caretakers, lovers, they're sexy, they're fun, they're adventurous. And I'm like, why are all these girls single? It's like an epidemic of hot, single, successful women. And we haven't been able to like figure it out. And mind you, LA is an extremely tough place to date. This is a known thing. It's very hard to date in Los Angeles for a multitude of reasons. But I've found that recently I've been dating casually, and there's different types of men, because when you do have this online persona, when you're beautiful, when you're successful, when you're smart and driven, it can be intimidating and deterring to some men.
Not to men. Not to men, to boys.
Yeah, that part, to the boys, right?
So it's like...
I found that a lot of men, they just get intimidated when you are a successful woman. And it's funny, you can see them look stressed when they know that you don't need them. And it's definitely affected a lot of people's love lives. I can see it around me. And mind you, though, there are a lot of confident men that love it. Like, I'm actually currently seeing this very confident man who loves my mindset, my growth mindset, and really values my opinion. And if anything, he's like, let's build this empire together, versus the boy who would be like, oh, like, she doesn't need me. Like, oh, I don't want that. So there is a lot of like differentiation there, but it's very evident.
So I have a question. So when you say men or boys are intimidated because they don't feel like you need them, do you make them feel like you do need them, or do you act like you don't need them?
It's a really good question. I don't ever want to act like I don't need a man.
Okay. Because
here's the thing. Just because I can take care of myself doesn't mean that I want to.
And
it
that's
just
the
means,
yep.
It just means that I'm going to take care of myself until that man comes along. And I don't have to settle until then.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And it's because here's the thing. Because I know now, let me know if you agree with this. Okay. I know when to shut it off. So obviously when we run all our businesses and we wear all the hats, and you don't have kids. You don't have kids. I do. I'm a mom. So, but then I'm also a mom to like all my son's friends.
Right.
So it's a lot, right? Sports and driving and events and birthdays and all of it. And I'm the safe house. So they come to my house all the time. But it's like, yeah, because I showcase, you see what I post like on social media. I speak on stages. I do a lot of that stuff.
Girl, you are a boss.
Oh, thank you. But I'm doing it because I can, I want to, and I have a mission and reason to do it. And that's to help as many people as I can. So when guys look at that, they think, oh, she's running all this stuff. She's running the show. So they immediately assume that I'm so successful and they're not needed. But it's like, no, we step into more of our masculine energy to run our businesses, but we also know when to shut it off.
Right.
And be in our feminine. But it's like, I don't know if men understand that we can actually shut it off.
They don't.
That's what blows my mind.
They think you're going to be at home running the household. Like it's interesting, but like you said, you have to be able to shut it off, and you have to learn how to do that, because we want to be feminine women that are well taken care of and loved and spoiled by our men. Just because we have the means doesn't mean that we want to be like in that role all the time.
Right.
Also, a lot of that drive and, career driven personality does come from our past and our childhood and our traumas and things that we've been through.
Yeah.
And we've taught that we have to get it on our own. Like, what I learned personally is that nobody is coming to save you. You have to be able to do it yourself. You have to be able to take care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So when you lead your life with that type of mentality, you have to work through that trauma to make sure it's not affecting your internal relationship, your relationships with others, or your character in general. Yeah. But, being able to then step away from that and know that the person that you choose, because we have it ourselves, we can choose for love and connection, not by who's going to be the richest guy to take care of us, right? So we look at that person and we know that we're safe here, that we can trust them, and we've chosen a good man, and we can now take the armor off, come home from the office and be a soft little woman and do our little things and be our cute feminine selves.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so in your personal experience, why are you single?
I'm single because that's a really good question. Because I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
I'm just not
We're
gonna say
real
it.
and authentic here. We're real and authentic here. Let it out.
I have a lot of good options right now,
which is okay.
Yeah, and I'm just picking the best one.
Okay.
So I'm dating until I know that the one I choose is going to be the correct choice.
Yeah.
Because right now I was fortunate enough to find fantastic people in Los Angeles and outside of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to travel for that. So
yeah,
definitely looked elsewhere. But I would say I'm also in a place right now where I really just want to put myself first. Like, I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband or now a boyfriend to, prioritize. And I'm really driven. I'm starting my business and I'm stepping into that role where I want to see what I can do and I need my time to do it. I really just need a little bit more of me time. And when I go into a relationship, I really do pour so much of myself into that relationship. I prioritize them. I give them so much time and energy. And I really feel like this is, for me, a very selfish era. Now drawing to a close soon because I have been single now for about a year and a half. And I've taken that time to do what I want to do and travel around and not have to answer to anybody and love myself and fall back in love with me at this stage of my life. Who is Lauren single at this age and this day on this new path? And now that I've figured that out now and I've done what I've wanted to do, now I'm like, okay, now it's time to move into, that next step of the husband and the children and that.
How old are you?
29.
29. Okay. Man, to be 29.
Why are you single?
Why am I single? Well, I'm actually very thankful that I was single after I found God. And I just got baptized a few weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I just feel like all of that was meant to happen before settling down. And I'm so thankful. The crazy part, though, and a lot of people don't believe this, but I've never really had a real relationship ever.
Wow.
And I say that because I don't really have tons of experience. I've never been married. I got pregnant when I was 17. I was kicked out of my house. And I think you know a little bit of my story, but I didn't have time because I was in survival mode. I was trying to raise a child, but also have a career and work and pay the bills. And
that's heavy, girl.
It was. And then, you get to a point where, I realized how messed up I was.
Aren't we all?
I had a lot of trauma. Yeah. Aren't we all? And so I had a lot of trauma. So I had to heal from that. And I was self-aware enough to be able to be like, in order for me to heal from this, I need to stay single. And then I started healing. That took years. I'm healed now, but now I'm like on a different journey. And then you get used to being single and then you love the peace and doing everything, not having to answer to anyone. And, and then you get used to being alone and then you realize, I don't even know what it's like to be in a real relationship. Like but I was also in my masculine energy for a very long time, but God softened me and he made me realize who I am. And I'm very much a feminine woman.
Yes.
And I do all this stuff, but it's like, I do it for others. I don't do it for me. I'm very loving and nurturing. I think that's a very feminine quality. And so, but like I said, I just got baptized. So I feel like now it's like, okay, right now, just like what the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and everything will be added to you. Amen. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I know God's going to bless me with a wonderful Christian, God-fearing, faithful, masculine man that is stable, healthy, and successful. I feel it. I feel it. He's right around the corner. But right now I'm really focused on my relationship with God, and I'm focused on the mission now that I have a new mission in life, which is, I'm building I already did, but we have a kids ministry in the Philippines, and now we're planning for a 3-day camp in December, and I will be opening up orphanages and women's shelters.
Oh, that is fantastic.
So that's like,
go.
So that's like
amazing.
my new, anyways. So thank you. But I just figured this out. So imagine if I settled for someone before. So that's why your season of being single is needed, because you really need to step into your own and figure out, what do you want?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So now I know what my end goal is. Now I know my man is going to help me with these orphanages and be standing next to me, maybe not physically, it just depends on the situation, but support me in knowing that I want to open orphanages and women's shelters and all of that, and have that same heart and have that same relationship, growing relationship with God.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's such a beautiful thing too, to know that it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So good.
Yeah. So I love this, because I know we're going to look back at this conversation and be like, remember when we were talking about this and why we were single
at your wedding?
Look at us now.
Look at us. Who would have thought? We all knew. But it's so true. Like, whatever your relationship status is, it's exactly where you're meant to be right now. It's part of your path. It's for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. You're supposed to be doing what you're doing. If it's good, if it's bad, it's going to teach you and lead you to where you're meant to be and who you're meant to be with. Exactly. And it's so good that you didn't settle. Because that's the thing. We just don't settle. Don't settle for anything less than what you know that you are worthy of and what you deserve. And luckily, for us, we're in positions where we don't have to. But I feel like it doesn't really matter. Nobody should. You shouldn't have to at all.
No,
because your right person is out there. Just maybe not now, but later.
And yours is too.
Exactly.
And I'm so excited for you.
I know. Thanks. I'm having a lot of fun. Let's say that.
as you should.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about, because have you just started speaking on stages, or is that something kind of right?
That's fairly new.
It's okay. So it's fairly new.
Yeah.
Okay. I love this because when I first heard you speak, it was at the women's event with Dan.
Right.
Was that the first time? Yeah, that was the first time that I heard you speak. And so I just remember thinking, because I'm going to be honest with you, like, I've met you, like, you've always been so sweet and kind, but if you look at your profile, you think pretty girl model, she has a perfect life, blah, 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 right?
Right.
You don't think she's so intelligent, she's well-spoken. Please don't take that offensively.
I don't. I already know this.
So when I heard you speak, I would say, honestly, you were the most well-spoken woman at that event.
Thank you.
You really were.
Oh my gosh.
And after that, I was like,
Thanks.
I'm going to get her on my show. Like, I need to know more about this woman. And it really intrigued me. So, what was my point in this? So you speaking on stages, what are you most passionate about speaking when you're on stage? Like, what is your avatar, I guess you can say? Like, who do you want to reach?
So usually I want to reach a younger version of myself, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Or anyone that is, I like more of the mental health side. I love talking about confidence, as we spoke about.
Yeah.
And, being true to yourself and following your path. As well as on the other side, the scientific part of me loves to talk and nerd out about like biochemistry and NAD and all these like fun things.
Yeah.
Hence Hydra, putting that to use. But because I am so fresh in this journey, I wouldn't say that I would know exactly yet. I just know that it's been well received when I have put it out there, and it has built more confidence in me to do more of that.
Yep, exactly. That's so, so good. What would you say? Okay, speaking of, because we're going to start wrapping it up.
Okay.
Which I don't want to, because I feel like we could talk all day.
We honestly could.
Yeah. What would be, we're going to wrap it up. So your last message to your younger self, what would you say to that girl right now?
Ooh, I would write her a novel, but if I only had a little bit of time, I would tell her, let me think about this.
And you can take your time. We can edit out the big pause.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Yeah, okay, good. I would say believe in yourself, because it's all going to work out. Even in those darkest moments when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, when you think it could never get better, or excuse me, that it couldn't get worse, honestly. Wait, no, that's not my train of thought. Let me start that one
It's
over.
okay.
Okay.
We'll cut that off.
That part.
And
I'll start again.
Yeah.
Like, well, what I say to her? Yeah, I would tell my younger self to believe in yourself, because everything is going to work out for you.
Yeah.
Anything that you are having self-doubt in, when you think that you can't do it, when you're scared, when you're frightened, just trust you, trust the process, know that the universe and God is looking out for you, and that everything will be okay. And to just move through your life, move forward, move with excitement and curiosity and a sense of adventure. Pour love and light into the world anywhere you can, and soak up every single second, because the journey is the most beautiful part. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. I love that. That's really, really good. Couple more questions.
Yeah.
In your definition, what does pain to power mean to you?
Pain to power means to take all the things that you've been through, your traumas, your hardships, your loss, and to not let them define you as a person, but to do your inner healing and use what you've learned to grow as an individual, to make better relationships with yourself, with others, and to really turn exactly pain to power, but to accept that those are a part of you and that they may be a part of who you are and why you are the way you are today. But to make sure that we do the work to turn them and transform them into a really beautiful superpower that you can use that is very unique to you.
That's so good. I love that you mentioned that everyone is so different. Gosh, and you are a one of one.
You are too. We all are.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's
what I'm
a one
saying.
of one. There is no one else like you.
Right. So
Yeah.
I just, when you say like being authentic and true to who you are, it's like, it's so, there's such an identity crisis in today's world. And it's like, if only you guys just grasp the fact that you are one of one in this entire world.
Exactly.
You are so special with just that alone. And the fact that you're still breathing. Right?
Right.
Gosh.
You're extraordinary.
Yes.
You have a unique gift.
Yes.
And you have a superpower, whether you know it or not.
Yep.
But if you don't know it yet, do the work, figure it out, find it, use it.
Yep. And it's your responsibility to do that.
Right.
Yep.
It's all
100%.
feeds into your purpose.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. What is coming up for you? Anything new? Any new products? Any projects you're working on? What's coming up for Lauren Blake?
The next step is just working on the business, because we are growing and it's super exciting.
It's still a baby,
Mind you, I'm new to entrepreneurship and business, so it's been really interesting to navigate, especially as a woman, especially with my social media background too, stepping into that role and really trying to embrace this new path. Like I am seeing a lot of transformations within myself. I'm consistently challenging myself. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. And I am struggling a little bit sometimes with self-doubt.
Okay.
And so making sure that I can overcome that and really just pour myself into seeing what I'm capable of. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I really wanted to see if I could do it. I wanted to test myself. And, you know, you're never going to grow without challenge. So pushing yourself out of that comfort zone is such a necessity.
Do you feel like you were 100% ready?
No, you're never going to be. I'm still like, what? No,
See,
you
will never be 100% ready. You just have to start, and you have to just do it. Jump off
today.
Start today. Yes.
Because all that one little step, and then you take another little step and another little step. And then one day you look back and you're like, wow, look how far I've come.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah, that's
Go
right.
Me.
That's right.
Good job, me.
Exactly. No, I love
It's true.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. That was my last question, but I want to add another one. You say you're new to the entrepreneur world. Mm-hmm. Okay, so obviously you weren't ready to do it. What would you say to that one person that is thinking about starting that business, getting into entrepreneurship? It's really uncomfortable. What would you say to that person that is like ready to, wants to step into it? What would you say?
If you're feeling like that, like uncomfortableness and the fear and scared, the worry, just know that it's supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like that. That means that you are on the verge of growth and something great.
Yep.
And to dive in, believe in yourself, trust yourself. Advice, find a mentor or find someone that you look up to, that you can use as like an anchor almost for motivation too. And know that if you get off track or you fall off the bike, just get back up. The key is perseverance. Just even if you fail, even if it doesn't work out, even if you lose time, energy, money, if you keep going, keep trying, you can't fail until you stop trying, right? Until you give up. So just persevere and you'll make it. Love it. One more question. Okay, the technical, the technical side. Now, do you have like investors? Did you let's see, do you have like a team that you put together first? Is it just you running the show for your business? I am running the show. I have a silent partner. Okay. But I didn't do any funding or rounds of investors. And, so I didn't do that yet. That's upcoming. Okay. But right now it's me, and I do have a lovely team that I've built, and they are fantastic. Okay. At first I was wearing 20 different hats, and now I'm able to more manage, which is great. Okay. But I'm still working on it every single day. It's still it's a lot of work. Yeah. But it's worth it. It's my passion. Yeah. So exactly. I love it. No, I love that for you. Yeah. Yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for having me. Yes. I think it was a great talk. You guys, if you love this episode just as much as I did, you know what to do. Go love, share, like, comment, all the stuff. And I will see you at the next one. Yay. Yay.